Yeah, I remember like people on the set being kind of like took aback when they saw that. I'm like, oh right, okay, that's why this kid's playing that role then, because he can do some of that stuff. To me, look, I'm a martial artist. You know, I'm training in martial arts. I'm well versed, and I can handle myself. But I like to be honest. My goal was always I wanted to just do action in movies. That was the main priority. Doing my first movies in Hong Kong and then coming to America and doing international films. The best place to learn how to do the fights is from the Hong Kong guys. You know, you don't want to be the guy that kicks Jackie Chan in the face and be shamed in the end credit reel. So you try to be very careful. But they also had Sammo Hung shouting, "Kick him harder."
Is there anyone on the list that you haven't worked with that you'd be like, oh, I'd love to work with him? Because I feel like you covered everybody.
It's all done, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a phenomenal martial artist.
Special episode tonight because I've got a guy you all will know right away when you see the man, and here he is, action star, martial artist, starring in so many different movies. If I'd be here all night if I tried to name all of them, but Undisputed 2, Mr. Boyka himself, X-Men Origins, Ip Man 4, Expendables, Doctor Strange, John Wick 4, the list just goes on and on and on. Mr. Scott Adkins, how are you, sir?
Too many movies. I'm good, Quasi. I'm good, mate. How are you? I've got to say, first of all, I'm doing this because I was instructed to by the great Mark Dacascos.
Yeah, I was going to give him his props. Thank you again for Mark for setting this up. He's such a great guy. And I mentioned, that I'm a big fan of yours. He's like, oh, I'll reach out to Scott for you. He was like, he's so gracious. So, I know I had to bug you a little bit. Here
and looking forward to the chat. But when Mark Dacascos says, Scott, you need to do this podcast, I'm like, yes, sir. Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man. So I know, and part of the reason too, you got a busy schedule, but you're just finishing up a movie. So One Shot, the new one.
Spartan 01, this is Phoenix.
Yeah, One Last Shot.
One Last Shot.
I'm probably more beat up from that film than I've ever been from any movie I've ever done.
If that bomb goes off, everybody's dead.
I've got a cracked rib.
Wow.
I pulled my pec muscle, which is a new one. And I tore my hamstring and my elbow and various other things. Yeah, it was tough. Very
so
tough.
you have
to do your own stunts in that. I try to do as much as I can. But in those movies, you got to do everything because the nature of what it is, one continuous shot. There's no editing. I mean, there's kind of like, trick editing, but still we do long sequences in one shot.
Because it's supposed to be presented as if it's one shot, like the original one. Because is it the third one or the second one in the series?
This is the third one.
The third one. Jeez.
One shot, one more shot. And this is one last shot, and I'm glad it's the last one because
you get it the last one.
One more shot. Just one more.
So I'll start off, just talking about obviously your history in martial arts. I know a whole lot about it, but I just want to get the audience oriented. I know you started at a young age, like 10 or 11, right, in the arts. And I heard it was because mainly you got bullied at a young age and all that, and you didn't want to be bullied anymore, so you started doing martial arts. So give me a little bit of background on that.
I started martial arts when I was 10 because my dad and my brother did it. So I went along and they stopped. And I continued and I never stopped. And I still train now, of course. It's been a lifelong thing. I mean, I couldn't say enough good things about martial arts in general. Any kid out there should train in martial arts. It's great for various aspects of the future life, and it's been life changing for me. And I really don't know what it's like to not train in martial arts because it's just been non-stop.
You trained in so many different arts. When you first started, was it judo or you originally?
Judo. Judo was the first one. Dabbled in some ninjutsu. It was the 80s. It's some weird place at the top of this pub. But then the main one, when I started when I was about 13, was Taekwondo. And it really gave me my base with the clean kicks, and it suited me very well.
Yeah, man, because an amazing kicker, and you see that in all your movies that you have. Now, so quick question. I know when I was a kid too, because I started martial arts a little later, but ninjutsu was always one of those where you're like, is that like a real deal? But I know it's a real martial art. And when you train in that, do they get all like, do they get into all of that kind of eclectic side as well, or is it just the straight martial arts when you do that? I'm just so curious about that.
I mean, I was just a kid and it was this weird place. But I remember my friend reminded me the other day, because he went with me, and the instructor said, throw a punch at me. He was trying to show some move. My friend just literally punched him in the face. And the guy goes, no, I didn't mean a straight. I meant give me a hook.
Like a lot of beginning students, you attacked me wrong. You're supposed to come at me like this.
Right.
So I'm not sure how good the guy was, to be fair, or how legit his ninjutsu was. But, you know, it was the ninja craze back in the 80s, and you go there with your ninja suit on and do some gambles and pretend to do some ninja stuff.
Right on. So they really had you in the whole ninja outfits when you guys would train?
Well, we had the black gis, you know.
No shit.
The black gis, yeah. Maybe, I think we wore the tabi shoes, the tabi boots.
Oh, no shit.
But I was big into it as a kid, man. I was like... In England, you had martial arts magazines like Kombat or Martial Arts Illustrated, and in the back, they'd be like, you could like order through the mail ninja stars or cat claws,
right?
So you'd be like a 12-year-old kid.
We had that too.
Like you get your shurikens, ninja stars through the post, down the back of the garden, throwing them at you next to your mate's head into the tree. Not good.
We had that too. Like in the back of the comic books, they would have those ads where you would buy. Like when I was a kid, they did at least. Yeah. So I totally understand. Yeah, I get it. But I get it. Those are the times because everyone was into the Shokasugi movies, Enter the Ninja, all that stuff. Yeah. Which
I just worked with Kane Kasugi in One Last Shot.
Yeah, I was just about to say, and with the Ninja, the second movie, which I love too. So yeah, we'll get to that. I wanted to talk about a little bit more as you trained as a kid. Were you heavy into the tournament scene back then, or was it just you just learned this stuff and really wanted to just progress that way?
Did a lot of did some taekwondo point sparring stuff back in the day. So with the TAGB,
right?
Won a gold medal adult I don't know, what was it, green belt at the time or something like that, and then when I did kickboxing, did a lot of sparring and stuff, but I never wanted to be like, I knew I wanted to get into the movies, so all that sort of thing was kind of secondary to me. Look, I'm a martial artist. You know, I'm training in martial arts. I'm well versed, and I can handle myself. But I like to be honest. My goal was always, I wanted to just do action in movies.
Right, do action movies.
That was the main priority. So it wasn't like I was going around different dojos challenging people to fights.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love martial arts. But I always knew that I want to get in the movies, man. That was the goal.
Right. No, I get it. And so then let's talk right into it. Like go right into it. Your big break. I talked to Bay Logan a few years ago, and he said he and somebody else spotted you doing some stuff and kind of like, hey, this guy would be great in a movie. But you give me your version of that. How did you get your big break?
Yeah, well, Bay Logan was he the editor for? He was a writer for Kombat magazine.
Yes.
Maybe Martial Arts Illustrated as well. And he started Impact magazine, which was an action movie magazine. He was the editor of it.
Right.
And so, you know, he was someone that you'd look up to in that field. And then he went over to Hong Kong, and I would send him my showreel. And he would always write back nice letters, because this is before the internet. Nice letters saying, you know, continue doing this, you know, you're doing well, and maybe try this, try that. And I would send my showreel over to him with martial arts clips and clips of me performing Shakespeare, because you know, I was studying acting at that point.
Right. The acting side.
Yeah, he got me my break in a film called Extreme Challenge.
Yes.
We sent it to the director, Stephen Dunway, and that was my first job. So yeah, Bay got me my first stuff, and then I was in Hong Kong doing a bunch of stuff out there because of that link to Bay Logan and doing that film Extreme Challenge.
Very nice. And speaking of Extreme Challenge, I have a little bit of your here. Hold on. There we go. And were you a big weapons guy as you trained? Because you got the nunchucks in this when you trained as a kid, or you just dabble?
We've all got our nunchucks, haven't we?
Yeah,
we got there, and Stephen Dunway's like, "Do you use any weapons?" I'm like, "Well, I can use the nunchucks," and they give me the nunchucks and start spinning them around.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, you can be the nunchuck guy." But this stuff where I actually spin it around my hand,
yes.
There's like this cool move. Is it there? I can't remember. It's somewhere. I'm spinning it around my hands.
Yeah,
Couldn't do that until they showed it me, and I had to learn it to do it in this fight.
So you learned it on the spot. Nice.
Yeah. But, you know, I could do my Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon routine.
Yeah, were you always like, you know, like one of those, we all were like motivated by Bruce, right? So you'd like kind of emulate him in the
This
mirror.
guy was like a wushu champion. So, you know, him with the staff, that was like second nature to him.
Right.
And didn't speak a word of English. He was pretty intense. Apparently, in that lake, there was a load of mercury, and we shouldn't have been in it.
Mercury poisoning.
Okay.
Yeah, and I ended up going in the drink at the end.
I was going to say, and you fall in. So,
Yeah, I haven't been the same since.
right. Well, it's a wonder why.
Yeah.
But filming in Hong Kong, I know is much different. I've talked to Cynthia Rothrock. I know you talked to her as well. Like she always says it's just a whole different animal filming in Hong Kong.
I mean, any Hong Kong movie I did, you know, that was just part of the territory. You got hurt on every film, you know, like how Jackie Chan does. That's true. It happens to everybody. I had so many bruises, so many close calls.
Was that same your experience, kind of similar, you think, with America?
Oh, yeah. It's really difficult as well. I remember just spending 2 days shooting this fight on that raft in the hot sun. Doesn't look that hot because you got that Chinese smog, but it was really hot. And I remember thinking to myself, well, this is it then. And Jesus, it's really difficult. But I was loving every second of it. And there was so much pressure because in Hong Kong, they show you the stuff that you're going to do just before you got to do it. So you got to pick it up quickly and perform it 100% speed quite quickly after they've just shown you how to do it. So there's a lot of pressure and they're tough on you out there. If you make a mistake, they'll let you know about it. But it was a baptism by fire. But I guess they took to it quite well. The best way to learn, especially like coming away, doing my first movies in Hong Kong and then coming to America and doing international films, the best place to learn how to do the fights is from the Hong Kong guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Cynthia was saying and everything. It's like you literally pay your dues out there, right? So it's like you're so much more respected out here when you do it. And I'm sure it makes it, when you go to the American side or US side or even, you know, other productions, it makes it a whole lot easier because you've done that Hong Kong style. Or what would you say? There's
nothing as hard as that. Everything else is easy compared to that. And I remember going back to do Wolf Warrior or Ip Man and having a feeling like, why am I doing this to myself? It's so much more difficult.
But growing up, who were your martial arts idols? Obviously, everyone's got Bruce Lee. Did you have others, or were you just like that you're trying to model your style after, say, when you got to films?
Yeah, I mean, look, Bruce Lee, I was crazy about Bruce Lee, and you'd have these Bruce Lee conventions, and they would come around and they'd have like the Game of Death tracksuit with the footprint still on it, and you could kind of like get close to it, and these are the nunchuckers that he used in Fist of Fury, and this is his Big Boss t-shirt. And I used to go to all those Bruce Lee memorabilia things. And in England, the Bruce Lee films were cut because they cut out all the nunchucks because people would take them down to football matches and smashing people's heads in. So you'd have to go to these places to get the uncut version of the movie on VHS.
Right.
So I was massively into Bruce. But of course, when Bloodsport came out when I was 13, that was huge. That was huge, man.
Every fighting style, every worthy opponent, every deadly technique.
Yeah, like, I think we're similar ages, so we grew up with a lot of the same movies and a lot of the same kind of, so the Van Dammes and the, you know, obviously Seagals and all that. Yeah,
Seagal. All those guys at that time, including Stallone and Arnold, and Chuck Norris. You know, I lapped it all up. I was just a kid who was drawn to physicality in movies.
Yeah.
And Jackie Chan actually wasn't a big deal in England at that time when Bloodsport Kickboxer came out.
Really?
Jackie Chan films in England, you couldn't get them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
I remember going to a video store and they had a cardboard cutout of the Protector.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They were trying to make him look like Bruce Lee at the time. He was like, doing like Bruce Lee pose with his muscles all shredded and everything. And I literally remember looking at him thinking, Bruce Lee ripoff. And of course, I watched The Protector and I was like, I don't know, that's not that good. Because it wasn't that good. They didn't know how to show Jackie Chan at his best. And then when at some point, around 13, 14, around the time that China O'Brien came out, they started releasing all these Jackie Chan films. And that's when it was like, we got like Jackie Chan film every week coming out. And then it was like, oh, this is incredible.
Dude, so it's like I paid you behind the scenes because literally the transitions are flawless. You're talking about Jackie Chan. Of course, you did some movies with Jackie, the Medallion, but I got to show this really quickly.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So your fight with Jackie on this, and I only have this little small part, and I know you do a big fight with him at the end. I've seen this movie. When you're on set with Jackie, because I've talked to people like Linda Denley who did films with him, how was that, and you know the whole experience with him and the crew and all that?
I did The Accidental Spy first because Stephen Dungway, the director of Extreme Challenge, worked on The Accidental Spy because he normally worked with that director Teddy Chan.
Yeah.
So that introduced me to Jackie Chan and his stunt team, and I had a tiny thing to do in that. And they remembered me for this. Also, Bay Logan was involved in this.
Nice.
So they flew me out to Thailand, and the word was, you're going to have this little fight with Jackie Chan on the boat, and if you do well, you'll get to do the big end fight scene with him, and you can be the big bad guy to go up against him.
Ah, okay.
There's a lot of pressure on this. Sammo Hung was the fight coordinator, and the bit where I back kick him, I was, you don't want to be the guy that kicks Jackie Chan in the face and be shamed in the end credit reel. So you try to be very careful. But it also had Sammo Hung shouting, "Kick him harder!"
Right.
It was quite nerve-wracking. But I remember that feeling like one of the best days of my life because I'd finished that fight and I'd given a good account of myself. And what you've got to understand, and I'm sure people can relate to it, is that you spend your whole life dreaming of being able to do this stuff with guys like him.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're good enough or if you could even come close to his skill, or you just want to be with that guy and hang with him and not be as good as him, but just be accepted that you can do this sort of thing that you've been dreaming about for so long.
Right. That
and it went really well, and the word was, okay, you're going to get to fight him at the end. I remember just thinking, wow, this is everything I've ever dreamt of. Then when we did the fight, a lot of it got cut out and it wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be. But anyway, the point was that I was given that opportunity and I passed it with flying colours. And felt good. You
made your impression. Now the ring that they chose, was that a pain in the ass? I know they probably had like a for the movie, but was it a pain in the ass when you had to do the fight scenes? It's like you know what I mean?
The ring?
The props, yeah.
Yeah, there was a rubber one.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I tore my hamstring for the first time badly on the end fight.
Okay,
Jackie.
Dude, you're
getting it again.
I was about to say, you're getting your injury list has got to be ridiculous. I know Jackie's broken almost everything in his body, but yours is probably right up there, right?
It's not as bad as Jackie because he's done much more extreme stunts than I. But yeah, it's a rough game.
It is tough. It is tough. So moving on, the movie that a lot of people know you for, and I'm trying to think of the first time I saw you on screen. I know it was before Expendables, and even though I knew of Boyka, I actually went in reverse order. It was weird. I saw Expendables 3, I think, before I ever saw Undisputed 3 before I ever saw Undisputed 2. which is crazy. But I love the Boyka character so much. And then I go to find out Undisputed 2, because I'd seen the original Undisputed back in the day with Wesley and Ving Rhames and didn't really think much about it. It was fine. But then Undisputed 2, and I'm watching this like, why didn't I see this movie first? But it's such an iconic role of Boyka when you're playing this role. And you tell me, going into the role and everything, you got Michael Jai White there. And Michael Jai's a pretty big dude, right? So is the whole reason why they're trying to like beef you up and everything, because you're really buff in this movie, obviously, and always playing Boyka. You got to add some pounds on. The whole thing was like you want to look as intimidating as possible because you're up against Michael Jai White, or what was the take on it?
Yeah, I think the way they saw the character was Dolph Lundgren. Mm-hmm. And Isaac really believed in me, and we'd done Special Forces, and that film didn't really, he kind of landed on the bottom shelf, nobody really knew anything about it, but he still had a lot of faith in me, and then they offered him this film, and he of course wanted to make it martial arts and not just boxing,
right?
And he really wanted me to play Boyka, but nobody else really did. Maybe Boaz Davidson at New Image did.
Yeah.
So he stuck his neck out for me, and I said, look, I'm going to put on as much muscle as I can, and don't worry, I'll be able to do it. And Michael was worried as well, because he's a big guy and doesn't want to be fighting people that are smaller than him, because he's the hero. You got to overcome a pretty tough looking villain. So Mike was helping me and dropping his weight when he got there, and we were dutching the camera to make me look taller and all this.
Right.
But I guess my martial arts ability, we did the Guyver kick in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember like people on the set being kind of like took aback when they saw that. Like, oh right, okay, that's why this kid's playing that role then, because he can do some of that stuff. And Mike was great, and we're still great friends. And I think it must have been pretty frustrating for him to just have to box in this film when I started throwing all the kicks and everything. He'd be throwing kicks in between takes just to get it out of his system.
Just to get it out of his system. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then, but at the end fight, he kind of makes up for it. You guys do a little more jiu-jitsu and stuff in this final fight. But in that first one, before he gets drugged, it's like, yeah, you're doing most of the kicking in this. But it's just an amazing. This to me is almost it's like a cult classic now, but very underrated when it first came out. One of those that is almost like people didn't realize this one came out first, because
it did get a pretty big release on DVD at the time, whereas Undisputed 3 didn't. Undisputed 3 suffered from a lot of piracy and was kind of leaked before it was properly released and everything. The same with the fourth one.
Oh wow. Okay.
But number 2 almost it got a theatrical release. Trying to get the UFC to get behind it, but they wanted to distance themselves from the cage fighting blood sport aspect of the sport at that point. And because Boyka was the villain, they felt that he was showing the wrong side of the sport and everything. But anyway, it all worked out.
Yeah, no, hell yeah, dude. This is freaking amazing, man. It's like, and I know to this day, people like probably even walk up to you and think of you as Boyka before they even think of you as Scott sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everyone loves Boyka. I'm not as cool. I'm nowhere near as cool as Boyka, especially not with this hair.
My hair.
How much weight did you have to put on for this?
Well, I just wanted to get as put on as much muscle as I could, and I had about 6 months to do it. But I was in good shape before. It's not like I was new to bodybuilding.
Yeah, you're in that other guy, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was already in pretty decent shape. I was just trying to add more muscle.
You had to bulk up.
Because I was so petrified of looking small next to Mike, which, you would anyway, but he started trimming down. That really helped when he got there. He was trimming down.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you guys, the hats off to you guys. This is an amazing movie. It's one of those where
don't forget you're pumping yourself up before each shot
for the shoot.
So your muscles are fully blown out.
Yeah.
But then you got to do like crazy kick, and my muscles are already tired and everything, so kind of shooting yourself in the foot for the physicality of the role as well. But yeah, I was young then, I could get away with it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how much harder is that pulling off the moves with the added weight? Because I know, just to give you, a little bit of history, like I've been doing Kung Fu is my main martial art. I've been doing that for like over 25 years. And like, even though like I'm not a huge muscular guy, but putting on more muscle, it just adds a little bit, it makes the moves a little bit tougher. So I'm always wondering with the weight, how much harder it is to pull the moves off.
Yes, it makes it much more difficult. All that extra weight on the joints when you're doing the different, like especially with the somersaults and gymnastics type stuff.
Right, the acrobats.
It's just more pressure on the joints.
Yeah, for sure.
Like something like this move here, just smashing onto your back. You know, if you're heavier, it's going to hurt more. That's why it's a lot easier if you're a, 4-foot Chinese stunt guy. Gravity doesn't cost as much.
Yeah, hell yeah. What would you say too? Because everyone loves Boyka, the Boyka accent. I think that's one thing that people kind of overlook with you. Your acting skills are you're up there, man. They're up to snuff, and you do a bunch of different accents. So I think it's one of those things people don't really point out. So you got the the Boyka accent, you got the accent you flipped in John Wick, and other things like that. So. Is it one of those things when you get the script, you're kind of just playing around with accents and stuff and styles, or how do you work it?
Yeah, I guess I've got a pretty good ear for accents. With this one, the bad guy from Rambo 3, the inspiration.
Who is this John Rambo?
Who is this terrorist? What makes you so valuable to him? This bastard tried to destroy me tonight, but he failed.
Oh, right.
And I just took it lower.
Who is this John Rambo? My name is Boyka, most complete fighter in the world.
I was in Bulgaria, so to me their accent was, that's Russian enough. And I was listening to that. But of course, the Russian probably pick its pieces. The trickiest one's the American accent, because you've got to be pitch perfect, because everyone knows the American accent, especially if you're American. Like my Russian accent, it's clearly not pitch perfect, but because to your ear it probably sounds really good because it's not your accent.
Yeah, your Russian sounded pretty good to me. I was like, and of course I'm not really watching the movie and just like reacting to that. But I do have an ear because I used to try to do a lot of imitations and stuff when I was a kid. So I always wondered that because, like the UK and British accents, I always loved that and trying to imitate that. But I always wondered in reverse, how more difficult is that? Or is it as difficult to do an American accent? Because I see most of you guys, they're Brit, and sometimes you don't even realize, I didn't know that guy was a Brit. I thought he was American. They're Americans just spot on, right?
Yeah. I said it is a bit tough, the American one. I think sometimes it's the intonation, the way like English people speak in a different rhythm to Americans. They enunciate more, and Americans a bit more relaxed.
Yes.
But, you just got to be pitch perfect. Like the guys that have had success, they stay in that accent 24/7. I remember the guy that was House. He was a British comedian in Blackadder.
Yes.
And he just started talking in the American accent the whole time.
Yeah, Hugh.
Are you this rude to all your patients?
Oh, yes. Don't think you're special.
Yeah.
Idris Elba did that as well. That is absolutely what I should do. But I'll be honest with you, I'm so tired doing all the fighting that I'm like, I can't expend more energy.
Right.
Talking to you in my American accent now. I just want to be English, God damn it.
Right. No, I totally understand. But
there's my excuse.
No, you pull it off well. I think I talked to Mark about this because acting, he really sees it as a craft, and I think some people, it's like, yeah, it's great you do the action, but that opens up more doors. Obviously, you fine tune that craft, and you have a knack for accents and things like that. It just paves the way for even more stuff. Because like to your point earlier, you ain't getting any younger, right? So eventually, it's like, hey, maybe just do this acting thing and don't have to worry so much about the action and breaking ribs every shoot on a movie.
Yeah.
Down the line.
But like I was at drama school when I was 19, 20 or whatever, studying acting at college, and always into it, always knew I wanted to do that. So I went in prepared. It's not like I fell into it. But having said that, like, I could now say, I'm just going to go and do straight acting roles, and I think I'm good enough to do that. But I really have a love for the genre of action films, and specifically martial arts films, and I do want to do it as long as I can because I just genuinely love the genre.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So speaking more action films, here's the thing, man. You, like, of all the people I've talked to, you probably have the most rounded resume, as in you've worked with so many legends, Jackie Chan, you've worked with Jet Li, like all these guys. So I would usually ask, is there like a dream collab, someone you've never worked with that you'd want to work with? Is there anyone on the list that you haven't worked with that you'd be like, I'd love to work with them? Because I feel like you've covered everybody.
It's all done, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all done. I mean, I could say, I think he's phenomenal. I think he's a phenomenal martial artist. And I just think that people would love to see us in a movie together. And he knows this, and I'm trying to make it happen. Bren Foster, I think.
Oh, yes.
Really good. And I'd like to do something with him before I get too old. Although we're around the same age, but I think he's physically he's so impressive as a martial art. I mean,
that would be awesome.
Great martial artist. Yeah.
And you reached out. Maybe it'll happen. I know scheduling wise, it's always tough.
We almost did. We almost did do something. Didn't happen. But I just think the fans would love that as well. But that would be something where I'd be like, right, I've got to get into shape for this because I know he will be.
Bro, that'd be kick-ass, man. I would love to see that. So speaking of Jet, it's only right I bring up this fight because you did Danny the Dog, aka Unleashed, with him. Break down a little bit how this experience was, because it's another underrated movie. One I saw in the theaters actually, years ago when it was first out, like 20 years ago. I remember
is it underrated? I think most people think it's one of his best films in America, right?
A little bit. Well, so here's the thing. Like, I think Jet Li, when you say that, it's like more people know him for more of like, oh yeah, he's in Expendables and more of the commercially successful ones. Like, just
this is his best film. This and Kiss of the Dragon.
I was gonna say I love Kiss of the Dragon. I love Kiss of the Dragon. And
this was banned in China, I think, because he plays a dog. They never released it.
Yeah, I was talking to Bay Logan about this, and Bay was telling me he thought that Jet really upped his acting game in this movie because he got to work with Morgan Freeman and because he got to work with Bob Hoskins, and that's when he said he went to the next level as an actor.
In my view, Jet Li comes back. He was always a competent leading man. He came back from Danny the Dog, and he did Fearless. Suddenly, he was an amazing actor. Yeah. He working with Morgan Freeman, working with Bob Hoskins, had given him a push. And he came back from doing that movie, and he's at another level.
This is a great film. It's got the great fights as well by Yuen Woo-ping. We shot for 2 weeks in this swimming pool. I remember it being like 2 weeks, so we had a hell of a long time to make the action perfect. My good mate Silvio Simat there is the main guy.
Yeah. This is it's a kick-ass scene. I mean,
remember when we jump in, they were like, "We'll put you on a wire if you want." I said, "I don't need a wire." I just jumped in, and then we ended up doing it for 10 takes. I'm thinking, shit, should have took the wire.
I used the wire. No, but it's so badass, bro. And then when the weapons come out, and again, you said you dibbled and dabbled, but just the choreo with the weapons, a little trickier, or just if everyone's on point.
Well, I remember Jet watching this because we were rehearsing it with his stunt double Tiger Chen, who I've worked with on Triple Threat, of course, great guy. And Jet comes out and he watches it. He just sits there in his chair watching it, and then he goes, "Okay." And he gets up and he's ready to do it. And I was so amazed by that he didn't like sort of have to feel it out, the choreography. He just watched it. And people like him and Jackie Chan and Donnie Yen, they're on a different level with this fight stuff. I
think that
levels to this game.
Yeah, no. I think that has a lot to do with their backgrounds too, because Jackie did so much. I'm sorry, Jet did so much, like wushu back in the day, and so many like just Chinese martial arts. We do so many 2-man forms, and you just get in there and you start trying to make it look as real as possible, and trying to be in sync with your partner. That you really try to remember those moves. But it's interesting you say that because I'm sure you know Brett Chan, also a fight choreographer and all that.
Yeah.
He told me the same kind of similar story. They were on the set of War, and the movie with Jason Statham.
Yeah.
They were kind of fleshing out a fight scene. They did it a couple times, and they said the same thing. Jet came down. He watched the scene once. He's like, "Okay, do it one more time, twice." And he's like, "Okay." And then he jumped in and he did it. And Brett was like, "He did it, and he did it better." He's like, "Holy shit, bro!" Yeah, that's pretty much a similar story to what you're saying.
So they put this fight. It's like 184 beats. Most actors got to come in. They got to rehearse. He comes in. He's like, "Okay, let me see it." The guys do it once. He goes, "Okay, let me see it again." The guys do it twice. With the whole fight, everything. He's like, "Okay, I got it." He steps in. He does the whole thing and better. I'm like, holy crap! Like that's respect. The guy is phenomenal. He's a
That was crazy to me. I've never seen anything like that before.
That's awesome.
Since. But I'm sure that Donnie and Jackie and Sam are the same. But I saw it happen with Jet.
Yeah.
I have to feel it out. Got to go through it. Get into my head.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your process was as you guys work on the choreography. So you kind of just...
There I am, look, scared.
Yeah.
Scared. Oh, thank you, Jet, for not killing me. Thank you. I'm more afraid of the fact that I'm wearing a string vest and a stupid haircut. You just killed me. You should have just put me out of my misery.
Put me out of my misery with the hair, right, bro?
I'm saying to the director, Louis Leterrier, I'm like, do you really have to have me wear this string vest, mate? Come on. Yes, you put the string vest on, the sexy look Frenchman. Come on.
Nice. He's like, come on.
Right, sorry, what was the question?
No. Well, my question is like your process when you're working through the choreo and stuff, because you mentioned that.
Oh,
just ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, just to go through it, but for me, it's like it's muscle memory because you're moving at a fast pace when you do it. It's not like you can actually think about it. It's like, for me, it's just muscle memory. So I have to just go through it a few times so my body gets, like martial arts, repetition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My body needs to feel it, and then I can remember it. I can't just store it in my brain and do it. I can to a certain degree, but not like Jet. No.
And I'm like on a lower level the same way. It's like when we would learn forms when I first started, I just had to go through it, and then you finally get the sync, and it's like, second nature. It's like I'm not getting like that. I think people like that, like Jet, like some of them are even blessed with the photographic memory too, where it's just in their head.
Yeah.
So it's like
I do you find that when you've done a lot of fight scenes and you're in the mode of doing it a lot, you can pick it up quicker. But I find that if I've had like 3 months or 6 months of not doing it, and then I come to learn my first fight scene, I'm like, oh gee, I can't get it in my head as quick. So I think the more you do, the better you get, clearly. And he's obviously done a lot. Wushu champion for how many years? From the age of flipping 6 or whatever.
Beijing Wushu team, right? It's insane. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. There you go, the man, Scott Adkins. And we have more to the convo coming soon, including info on Scott's future projects. Was he ever up for a role in the new Mortal Kombat movies? Leave your comments below and let me know what you think. Also, his love of shaky cam in movies like The Dark Knight and the Jason Bourne series.
Greengrass, that's his style, and it works brilliantly for the drama. He's a fantastic director. But for me, it doesn't work very well for the action.
Or not. But go ahead and comment below on what questions you'd like answered on the next part of this amazing conversation. Scott truly has almost done it all, but trust, he's got more to tell. Please do me that favor, drop a like, share the content, because that's how we grow. You know the deal. Let's go, let's grow. That is my motto. and check and follow me on all of my social links. I'll leave them all around here for you guys. Remember, you guys can get early access to interviews like this one in our member section. So do consider becoming one because it definitely helps out with the channel and definitely helps me keep creating content like this, which I know you guys enjoy. Now, go ahead and check out another martial art video over here that you'll like, and see you for part 2 of this interview. Stay safe, see you in the next round, and of course, keep punching.
Look at that one. Look at this one. Look at that one. Look, are you kidding me?
Hey guys, it's Scott Adkins. Thank you for watching Kung Fu Chronicles.